Howdy all and welcome to Lac Plays. I think it's time we play a little Minecraft. Oh, look at that skeleton hiding down here. Hey, Skelly. I guess you're so much more hiding as you were actually trapped in the trees. Weird. That's okay. You deserve death. So I've been working on the house while listening to a podcast, which just got over. So I thought I'd go ahead and do a little filming. Man, that looks terrible. Look at that. That is not what the outside of the house looks like. I need to figure out where stuff is at, though, which is some of the issues I'm having currently. But I did go ahead and work on the living room quite a bit, so that I can figure out where the rest of the house falls. But this is what I've... Oh, you know what? This isn't right here. I've got to fix this right here. This has got to go. Got to go. This is not right. I realized after I was working on this that some of this stuff is in the wrong spots. And but I went ahead and got the doors in. This door I've actually got to switch. I've got to switch it out for one of these doors back here, because the front door, well, technically there isn't a door in Minecraft that matches what we had here. We had a big glass door. Like it was wood all the way around the outside edge, but the whole middle of it was glass. And I think the front porch was blue bricks, like the back porch. Maybe. It might have been gray, though, now that I'm thinking about it. So I might switch it out for gray. I probably switch it out for gray. And that way I can use actual bricks. I can't remember what things were painted. It was bright blue at one point, but I'm pretty sure it got repainted as gray. Which is where I'm at on this up here, because I've been working on the stairway as well. Which, let me tell you, this only got remodeled one time in my lifetime. And so it did not get the remodeling treatment. And I can't quite figure out what to do with the stairs. This is way too narrow. But I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with it. It's just bizarre to me. I tried it with 3 wide, and that was just too wide. Also, the stairs started back here, but you can't fit from here onto a stairway. Although, I could move this back 1, and then that would actually make this fit better. So let me do that right now. I've been rearranging things because things aren't fitting quite the way they should. Oh crap. Just knocking myself down a hole again. Yeah, quite a bit of work. I've used up all my quartz already. I'm almost out of picks. I'm really need to find some time to go mining and get some diamonds. But let's see, stairs. So I can't put the stairs here, so they gotta start there. What's really funny is that in reality, the stairs started right behind the door. Like, you open the door, bam, and the step is just right there. And it was pretty narrow to get up there. And being an old house, too. If you've never been in an old house, modern Americans are larger than people used to be. And so it's pretty crazy at how tiny some of the things are in houses. and they're simply not that way in reality. And okay, I think that's pretty good right there. Although this is the wrong color. This and this and you. Well, no, wait. This post is the floor, so we're actually fine with the stairway here. Let me put the stairway back in. Stairway, stairway, and planks. Nope. Yep. That's got to be like that. You've got to be purple on this side. Yep. So, purple was my mother's favorite, well, is, I guess. I assume it's still her favorite color, but purple is my mother's favorite color. And so, when they remodeled the house when I was a teenager, or maybe a preteen, I don't know. It was pretty close to being a teenager. Maybe not. Maybe I was younger than that. This was one of the last rooms that got remodeled, but I just remember they painted it plum purple. Ugh. Plum purple. So that's what I was doing, getting the stairway set up. Now that I had some dimensions to work with here. But once I got the stairs up to the top, I remembered that there was actually this weird overhang shelf thing that was right over top of the door, because I didn't realize it until I was remodeling the house. But the room above the living room was actually like 2 feet in over top of the wall, which is just crazy to me because that meant the floor wasn't supported by the wall. I mean, I guess it was, but the wall above it was actually like out here. And so when we were tearing everything down, you could see a distinct slope in the ceiling down where the wall up above, like on the floor above, ran right along here. And so we actually had to bring in, I think I talked about the floor jacks in the basement that I used to raise the floor. What we did was we figured out where they matched. And, well, we had this floor out, so it was easy to see. And we would just put the floor jack in the basement down and support the beams underneath the floor, and then put the floor jack above it up here, and then use that to push push that wall back up, because what we did here when we tore the ceiling out to the joists are, if you've never, I guess I've used some terms in here, maybe you don't know. Let me get some wood and I'll show you real quick what I'm talking about here. Let me get some other wood because I don't have enough on me. You're an oak tree. It'd make more sense if I show you what I'm talking about, I guess. I mean, I'm not saying that people are watching that haven't done this kind of stuff before, but not everybody's done this kind of stuff. So let's pretend that these boards are not this thick. Okay? And so if this is a 2x4, alright, so it's 2 on one side and well, modern boards are not 2x4 either, but let's pretend this is a 2x4. So you've got a 2x4 runs along the floor like this, right? And then you've got studs, right? You may have heard the term stud, like when you're hanging a picture or something. They've got the stud finder, so you know where to put the nail and stuff. And so it's on like, what is it, 16 inches, I believe, in between every stud. And so your wall looks like this on the inside. And then like the paneling and whatnot. I mean, it's not this big, of course. And so, but in your actual floor, there's also boards that run across that are usually much larger, like 4 by, well, maybe not 4 by, but 2 by 8s, or something like that, 2 by 10s, or 4 by 10s. It depends on how much weight you're supporting, I guess. And so this board here that runs through the floor, they're also placed every so often, but I don't remember what that is off the top of my head. It's something I always have to ask or look up. And not that I've done this very often, but so you got these boards that run through the floor like this. And since the floor and the ceiling are really just two sides of the same thing, that means that the boards that run across like this are the same thing. And so these are called joists. Why, I don't know. They just are. And so when I was doing my remodeling in the living room, I realized that the wall up above and the rooms that I thought were like directly above actually were offset slightly. And so we had to get a floor jack. And a floor jack is kind of an interesting thing. I could kind of make one, I guess. Let me do that so you know what a floor jack looks like. Because you probably know what a car jack looks like, and they're not the same thing. It's also called a screw jack. It was new to me. I've only ever used them a couple of times. I really don't have any fence. Oh, right there's some fence. Let's use this fence right here. Okay, I'm going to use this slab here. Okay, so this is the base, and then you've got... Oh, I can't do it. And then you've got this piece here, which I am never going to be able to manage. I didn't think I'd be able to do it. There you go. And so that's what it looks like. This is, well, let me take out this. Can I take out just this button? No, of course not. You want the whole thing. Can't just let me do it the way I want to so I can show what I'm talking about. So this is what it looks like. This is what a screw jack, floor jack looks like. And in the middle, it screws together, right? And so when you, it's like the bottom part is one piece, and then the bottom half is one piece, and the top half is a separate piece. And so it's like a screw into a hole. And so to use it as a jack, you just place it where you need to be, and then you unscrew it, which causes the top to raise up, or the bottom to go down, I guess, depending on which way you're looking at it. And so what we did was we put one in the basement, and we unscrewed it until it got, tight, and then we kept screwing unscrewing until the level said the beam was level. And then once the beam was level, we put another floor jack, screw jack on top of it here, and then unscrewed it until it hit the beam above, or the joist up above. And then now, when I say beam, I mean beam. This house is old, so while the floor joists are like I showed you out there, this room actually sat on top of logs, some of which still had bark on them. And so once we raised those up level, then we came up here and put, we didn't do it up here, we did it down in the living room. But we had this tore out to the joist, and so then I was able to place a screw jack on these joists and raise them up until the floor above was even. And then we actually brought in new joists and sister joists together, which I can't give you a good example because there isn't 2x4s in Minecraft, but let's say this is a joist, right? And so what it does is it runs from one side of the room to the other. All right, and then it actually sits on the beams that are in the walls that are on top of the studs. And so this would be my ceiling or my floor if I was above it. And so it rests either end. It goes out farther on either end. so that it rests on something, but all of the weight in your room rests on this. And so over the years, this starts to bow down, right? And so then, instead of having a nice straight beam, there's no way I can get that. You wind up with... Aw, dang it, I wanted that to stay there. But anyways, you wind up with a bowing to it, right? Something like this. And you don't want that in your joists that hold up your ceiling or your floor. And so what we did was a sister joist is where you take new boards and you go right next to the old boards. Oh, I just used a stair in there. I thought that was a slab. But you go next to the old boards and you... we used huge bolts. And so you bolted the boards together. And you don't have to have a board that fits all the way from one end to the other because you're actually just propping up the existing joist. Otherwise, you have to take the whole thing just apart. And we didn't want to do that. And so we did that to the ceiling in this room. Not the floor, though, because the floor, like I said, was logs, actually. And so all we had to do was raise those up so that they were even again. But yeah, so I moved this wall in to make it match, and I can't do the gray around the bottom and across the top that would have been here, but this door and this window were really close together, like maybe 4 inches between the molding, and so I couldn't do that either. Same thing with this here. There was just a little gap right here. In fact, this house used a boiler. Well, most houses, I guess, used some kind of boiler, but this house had pipes actually running through this corner here that led from the basement to the room above. And then this room here had them as well, running from here to the room above that, which I haven't put in yet. Yeah, so the living room shape anyways is done. Next I've got to do some furniture in here. I can only remember back so far with the furniture because it got changed a few times. My mother is huge on rearranging furniture. Drives me crazy. I'm maybe once every couple of years at most. Like, we've been in this house 6 years. I've moved my chair 1 time. And she has probably rearranged the living room and her bedroom 4 times a year. And I mean, there's really only so many places you can move things, right? And so most of the time what we would have is we would have a chair here, and a chair here, and actually it's probably more like a chair here. And then there was like an end table, we called it. Just a little table with, we still have that table somewhere. I saw it the other day. A lot of our furniture we got rid of. But then there was like an end table next to this chair. It was a different color than chair. I'm just giving you an example here because I've got to figure out what I want to do for these things. There are probably going to put them against the wall too. Although this wall here had one of the radiators on it, so I might put that in there instead. And then we had an end table here, or no, an end table here. And what's crazy is this was a high traffic area, and there was a dang recliner right here. And then here we had couch. And, oh, I didn't put my torches back up. Get those up before something spawns in here with us. And then, there was the end table, or no, the footstool. Let me get rid of this. We had the footstool. We have one footstool. I don't know. One footstool, and then over here, this stuff didn't get changed too much. I mean, there's really only. I remember once maybe having the couch over here, but then it hung over in front of these doors, and like there was a time where we didn't have a chair back over here, and then there was the TV, and the TV sat on top of a table over here in this corner for the most part, or it sat over here, depending on what time of the year it was. This was the Christmas tree corner, so if it was time for Christmas, this is where the Christmas tree went. Although I think we moved the Christmas tree to be more here, because I think that's more annoying. Because it was easier to have the Christmas tree in the corner, so why keep it there when we could put it right here, because then nobody can see it in the corner, and we have to have it so people can see it, because I don't know why, because this is where the TV was at the time, and so of course every Christmas we had to move the TV from here over into this corner, and then once Christmas is over, then you got to take down the Christmas tree and move the TV from this corner back over to here, which is all well and good if anybody else in the house is willing to do that, but guess what? Nobody else would do it. So I personally didn't care whether or not it got moved, but none of them were willing to figure out where the cables went. And being the resident computer expert, of course, that meant I knew where the cables went. I hate decorating for Christmas. But yeah, so that's what I've got done so far today. This might be all I actually work on for today. I've got some other things I want to work with, so but I also brought in some supplies for this room. You know what, let me go nap so I can get rid of this rain. Joist studs. I have never built a house from nothing, but I've done a lot of remodeling. Whoa. Oh good, I started a zombie horde there. Alright, now go away. Go away, rain. Alright, that's better. But yeah, that's pretty much the living room. Now for the stairway, like I said, this room did not get remodeled. This was the next room on my list of rooms to remodel. And I need to get something gray for the floors. I haven't decided yet what it's going to be. I might use carpet, but it was actually wood, and we just painted it gray. And it was very sloped, and so like there'd be, oh crap. I'm really good at that. I'm really good at falling off. Oh, now I've trapped myself. Get out of there. I like having all these doors to keep the zombies and whatnot out. But there's one window in this room, and it's gonna be somewhere right here. Either it will be right here or it'll be one over, but probably right here. And then I guess I really need to determine. Well, no, I guess I know. This room will run over to here. So if this is up 1, 2, 3, if we go up to 4, I think that might be too high. No, that sounds about right. 4, and then Oh, and then it was flat a little bit across the top. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I do know that there's a white ceiling's got to go in here that's on a slope. Starts here, slopes upwards like that. Because all the rooms on the second floor had sloped ceilings. And so this stairway actually came up to a balcony. There's a balcony right here that overlooks the stairway, which I don't have put in yet. But with the nice new dark wood and stuff, that's gonna be pretty cool. I think we can actually probably fit that in right now. Oh yeah, that's right. No, yeah, let me do the dark wood, and then we'll worry about what's gonna be gray next to it here. But so it it had a railing, a lot like a fence, honestly. That I don't have enough. That ran all the way over to the wall here, and overlooked the stairway coming up. I remember one thing. I have a stairway story. I probably have several stairway stories, but when I was in college, I want to say, my uncle made me a computer desk. Or no, maybe that was when I made one. Okay, no, it had to have been after I graduated from high school. It was probably like a graduation gift. But he was kind of a cabinet, or did some cabinetry work. And so he made me a computer desk, which is actually I'm still using bits of. I have since cut it down into a smaller desk that my computer sits in. While I don't do carpentry work, I can work a saw and a screw or a drill, a screw gun, a drill. And but it was huge, and I'll bet after it was all finished and put together, I'll bet the thing weighed close to 300 pounds at least. And so I remember when we brought it home, and it was in pieces. It was in three different pieces, and there was the top of it was a single piece of oak, and it was huge. It was made to my design, and so it was very, very huge because I needed desk space to work on homework as well as it being a computer desk at the same time. And so it was pretty cool. Maybe I can get out here and finagle with it with my things here. So like it had a shelf for the monitor, and then the desk itself came out like that, and and so it was quite a big desk, and like my keyboard drawer was big enough for the keyboard and the mouse to sit on at the same time, and so I remember when we brought it into the house, I can't remember who was helping me, but one of my friends was helping me. And then some of the people that live here were helping me. And what wound up happening was they couldn't manage to get it into the house very well, or into the stairway very well. And they were, I don't know, acting like they couldn't figure out how to get it up over the balcony and stuff. And so I actually wound up getting underneath of it myself. Nah, I'm not saying I wasn't helping, but where I was helping wasn't the best spot. I was on top I was on this side of the desk trying to pull it up and make sure it didn't scrape the walls and stuff. So there were like 3 other people helping me, and none of them could manage to move it. So we actually slid it back down the stairs, back into the living room. I got on this side of it. They got on that side of it. I don't know how I wound up on this side of it by myself. Climbed or pushed it back up the stairs by myself, All right, so they helped me push it up the stairs. And then I'm like, all right, so you got to grab this side and you lift, and then I'll lift from this side. And then they're like, I don't know what you mean. I'm like, well, you grab it with your hands and you lift it up. I don't know what you mean. And so I wound up just getting underneath of it by myself and just lifting the whole thing up over top of my head. I was getting pretty angry at that point, so I'm sure I had some adrenaline boost up over my head, and we had to angle it up through the gap between the ceiling and the railing, and until it fit over top of the railing, because we couldn't get it to go around the corner, so it had to come up over the railing. That thing was heavy. It wasn't finished. It wasn't varnished when we moved it, so it probably only weighed about 100, 120 pounds at the time. But it was pretty irritating that nobody would even attempt to move it into place, and we had to take the whole thing back down, and I had to climb around and do it myself. Honestly, that's the way it normally goes. Whatever I wind up doing, I seem to have to just climb around and do it myself, to be honest. But yeah, that was my one real stairway story. I have some up here stories because this was my bedroom for a long time, but I'm gonna save those for when we're working on that. I don't really have any other living room stories. I couldn't think of anything else. We did the Christmas tree. It used to be in the corner all the time. And I remember one year they like to buy really big Christmas trees, like that went all the way to the ceiling. And so I remember one year the Christmas tree was so big that when they stood it up, it put gouges in the ceiling all the way to the corner, and it actually pierced through the ceiling. Because that's funny. That's something to be proud of, how big our Christmas tree is. I don't know. I'm not like that, so it doesn't really mean anything to me. Not the Christmas tree, but why do we have to have the biggest Christmas tree? I keep trying to get him to switch to like a 5-foot artificial tree that's already decorated. But nope, we still have to get the big giant real tree that leaves me covered in welts and scratches because I'm the one who has to put it up and put the lights on it. This actually does kind of make me feel like I'm in my old living room. Sit down here, watch some TV. Sit down here, watch some TV. Over in the corner. It didn't seem this big though. Honestly, when we were kids and stuff, I'm sure it felt bigger, but as an adult, the room is only like say 8 by 12, 8 by 15 maybe. 10 by 15. So, but because of Minecraft, I have to make it a little wider to fit all the blocks in here. I was going to work on this room too. Honestly, almost every room in the house, I think I mentioned before, that we used as a bedroom, I actually had as my bedroom at one point. But I did bring in some different stained clays because I want to say this room was camouflaged. Because the guy who was in it is a big hunter, and so I thought maybe we could do it up with some different camouflagey colors. I guess I don't think purple is a camouflage color. Some blacks and some browns and some limes. Kind of camouflage, right? I don't really remember what his room looked like. He's the one who did all the painting and stuff when it got remodeled. I don't remember. I don't think I helped on this room at all, actually, when it got remodeled. This one, though, I did. I wanted to toot my own horn about this room because this house was old. it had settled and everything was on weird angles. And this is one of my proudest remodeling jobs because everything just worked out perfectly. Now I didn't pick the colors or anything. That was other people, but the drywall. When I cut the pieces of drywall, like uh, every piece just fit perfectly into place. When we cut the trim, all the trim went perfectly into place. It was awesome. I mean, everything was on an angle, but I measured and measured and measured, like measure 17 times and then cut. And so when we get a piece of drywall that went up around a door, even though the walls are all crooked around the doors, it would just fit perfectly. There wasn't a single piece of drywall I had to take back down and recut. It was awesome. This is the only room that happened in. Every other room, that one of the rooms is like almost perfectly square. I think it was the room over here, and man, I had to keep taking pieces back down and recutting them and stuff. This room though, all weird angles and stuff, just everything went up beautifully. You like that sound? I don't know what that was for, but yeah, I'll probably get some more of this camouflage up. It was not camouflage when I was a kid. It was wood paneled, but I'll get some more of this camouflage up. We'll get the window that goes in down here in, get the window that's over here down in, maybe for next time. And I'll tell you some stories about this bedroom. I don't really have a lot of stories about this bedroom though, because I only barely remember being in there. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the next couple rooms in the house here, and click like if you like, subscribe, be sure and catch the next one. And I will talk to you later.